Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. I've got two special guests. We've got Zach and we got Cam, who've just watched the Spurs 1-1 draw with Leicester. How you guys been doing? You keeping well?
Yes, thanks.
Yep,
Zach,
doing pretty good, man.
Okay, let's go straight into it, Cam. What do you think of the performance? What's your takeaways from what you've seen just literally 10 minutes ago?
Complete and utter typical Spurs, load of rubbish. No, for me, that was a game that I expected left. What can I say? It's just like the end of last season never ended, and we were pretty useless today. I thought our manager's clueless, didn't have any idea what he was doing. I had no way of knowing how to put the team together to beat what is a shambolic Leicester team. I'm sorry to have to say it, but I think they've got to be one of the favourites to go down. They have hardly signed anyone. They're going to lose points anyway, and they've got what seems like a nice guy, but a pretty crap manager, to be honest with you. But he actually outplayed Ange. And Ange was what I have been saying all along, not a good manager. I'm sorry, not up for the Premier League standard and definitely not up for Spurs.
Yeah. Let me get a Zach's view and then we'll have a quick chat about it. Zach, what's your initial thoughts about what you've just seen?
Well, I thought the first half was pretty good. I was enjoying it. I felt like we had a lot of chances. And then obviously in the second half, nothing of the same at all. We didn't get any of those same chances. I'm not happy with the result, but I'm glad we didn't lose. And it's an away point. I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible.
No, I understand that. That's good. I like that. I like optimism. Going back to what Cam said, Leicester, they know they're going to get deducted points. And the commentator was saying this team is weaker than the one that went down last time. So you should expect Spurs to win. But the only mitigating circumstance I'll say is pre-season. The players are still not 100% at the right fitness levels, etc., etc. Let's start with you, Cam. What's the good points you take away? What are your good points from the match today?
The good points for me in the match today was I really only have one, I think, and that's James Maddison. I thought he was sublime. He was absolutely incredible in the first half, and he was so good that it's absolutely no surprise that Ange took him off. He's probably a bit too good of a player. He created that goal. He created enough chances for even a donkey like Solanke to score, get at least a couple on target. If you wanted someone to start putting in the ball in that box in the right place, that was the guy. Once Maddison went off, how many balls went in the box after that?
The one from Bergwall at the end.
From a free kick from Bergwall. That's typical so Spurs. It's almost like Ange just signed a contract to say, this is how Spurs are, this is what happens to Spurs, and you must make sure you conform to this. Because
let's just go. Let's go through the new players and what you thought they'd do. So, what do you think of Solanke's debut?
For a £65 million player who has got Premier League experience, and I hear everybody all you saying, give him time, right? I am so sorry, but I remember Ndombele came in and scored on his debut. The chances that he had and his handling of the ball in the box for someone who's paid 65 million, who's played in the Premier League for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, absolutely appalling. Absolutely not 65 million. I don't think he's worth 5 million.
And what about Bergwall's?
For an 18-year-old, I thought he showed some class and he showed some promise. But see, the thing is, with an 18-year-old, you can understand it. Yeah, he needs time to bed in. We didn't pay 65 million for him. He's got time to come in, and I think for what he did and what he is, and the same with Gray, I think they're great prospects for the future, and I think that they do deserve to be given the opportunity to embed themselves in the team. You can't say that about a 65 million pound player who's allegedly a 20 plus.
But he wasn't. Let me push back on that. He didn't determine what the price is. It's what the strikers is. The dearth of strikers, people have to pay a premium for that. But let me hold your thought at the moment, Cam. Let me go to Zach. I want to hear what Zach had to think about Solanke, Gray, and Bergwall.
Well, going into it, I looked into him a little bit. I knew he was going to have some good hustle and maybe some good defending. Much more than Richarlison, I will say. I did enjoy his hustle quite a bit. I thought he was wanting to get into the right positions. He was in the right positions. Didn't have the finishing capability today. He's an experienced striker with lots of Premier League experience, but he doesn't have the same teammates around him. He's not used to the play. So I think that's going to take a few games to really know who's going to be delivering to him, get the winger's style down so that he knows what to time, how to time, and be in the right spots on realistically. So, I mean, give him at least 3-4 games, and we'll see.
And what about Bergwall and Gray? What did you think of them?
I didn't get to see them too much. I can't really talk on that. I noticed.
Okay.
Yeah, I do apologize. I had somebody come to my door.
So Cam, you've said what you think. What about the players that were there last season? You know, the existing players. How did they perform for you? People like Porro, Udogie, Van der Ven, these guys. What did you think about them?
And I'll go back to what Zach was saying earlier. I mean, we played pretty well in the first half. Leicester were all over the place. But the fact that we can't finish all those chances that were basically nearly every single one created by Maddison was an embarrassment, to be honest with you. I mean, everyone goes on about, and I was reading the text and the messaging about this all these witches that we have up front that we don't even know who to pick from. Every single one of them wants to walk the ball into the net. And they can't do that. You know, they haven't been able to. We should have been 4-0 up if we'd had a Kane-type player and we'd played Son where we needed to play him. Son was so far out on the wide that he now has to readapt to this position. Last season, he was playing more central and he was a lot better, more effective. We have £110 million worth of strikers on our books now. And I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll give you $110, right, if those two together score more than 25 goals. That's being kind.
Let me ask you a quick question before Zach comes in again. I thought Son was really poor today. What did you think of Son? Cam? Go ahead, Zach. Zach, you go ahead and then we'll come to Cam.
So, I mean, typical. We see what he's capable of on the wings. But again, Cam's right saying that's not really the right position for him. I can't believe how many times we got past the wing back there and had perfect cross opportunities, and we were just smashing it at defenders. We weren't getting any of those left-sided crosses in at all from our left winger or our left back. But so many chances, we were in behind them at least a dozen times in the first half. We should have had way better service in there. If Maddison had gone through there, I'm sure he would have done something. Maybe I would put Son in the middle where Maddison is and have Maddison on the left wing, because we need those balls to be winging in, and Sonny was not doing that. However, he was behind the defenders a lot, and so was Udogie, actually. I thought that they should have done much better service-wise with the opportunities that they had.
Yeah, many times Son got the ball, and rather than take the player on, he just passed it back. I saw that many times. When Timo Werner came on, it must be the worst signing I think we've ever made. He couldn't beat a player to save his life. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, you know, we got Timo Werner come on, you got Richarlison. You say we got strength in death. We've got strength in crap. That's what we've got strength in, nothing else. Cam, your thoughts?
Well, we just added more crap on top of crap, haven't we? I thought...
Well, I'm going to reserve judgment on Solanke. I know you don't
think Werner is a better player than Solanke. I don't agree with what you said. I think Werner's got pace and he can beat players.
But we can't judge on one performance.
Right.
Werner's been doing this all season.
Who's he crossing it to? He's crossing it to two players, right, who basically will need 500 chances to score one goal. And that was Richarlison. First season, 1 goal. Last season, 9 goals. I mean, Richarlison's beautiful defensive header at the wrong end of the pitch is the whole bloody game for me. I mean, there he was, clear in front of goal with nobody on him, and he headed it up beautifully.
Yeah.
That's where Solanke would have probably hit the net. Maybe, or leave it to Bentancur, you know.
Just going back, I think Bentancur had a good game before he went off. He bossed it. He ruled it. The problem that I think Maddison had and the frustration in his face and with Bentancur was they were putting in the ball where it needed to be put, and there was just no finish. There was just nothing there. You can't create the kind of space and the time that we had in their box, right, and only come out with about 1 or 2 shots on target. It's ridiculous.
It's not a good look when your defensive midfielder and your right back have way better chances than any of your forward attackers in a game.
Yes.
But it was a good goal, I think, by Pedro Porro. Nice glancing header. What do you think, guys?
Yeah.
Beautiful ball by Maddison. I'm glad it was Porro that got it. And Porro, known for his heading, not. But he was the one who put it in, you know. And I mean, that's where the goals are going to come from this season.
But that's another thing. What I'm saying, he's a right back. Why was he the only person there?
Because Kyle tells his wingers to invert and come in the center. But let me ask you a question, Cam. If you give Maddison time and space, of course he's going to play well, but he's not going to get the time and space that he had with Leicester in every single match. So this was the time to make it pay, and he couldn't make it pay. We couldn't win.
Well, it's not.
Well, on Leicester, Maddison was the best player on their team, right? And now he might not be. Maybe creatively. I mean, I got to see that yet. Last season, first 10 games, he was really good. Then he got injured and we crumbled, right? So, I mean, we still I'm still not even judging Madison on one performance. Very happy with his performance today. As long as he keeps that up at a minimum, we'll get lots of chances, right? So we just need people on the end of deliveries.
Zach, let me come to you. How is it that Jamie Vardy got a free header for the equaliser? Why is there not centre-backs marking him?
I mean, are we just considering him done and dusted or what? Like, that's Jamie Vardy. He's a Leicester legend, a great player all around. I have no idea. Like, I think he should have been double marked.
But Cam, why is this guy, you're right, he's on the wane, but now he's a striker, can score goals. Why is he getting a free header there?
We got exposed at the back in the first half. Leicester have just shown every single team in the Premier League how to play Spurs and how to play handball. First half, Leicester didn't. Second half, they adapted so fast. And that is what really is the frightening thing. Normally, you'd say, 3-4 months down the line, people are beginning to suss you out and understand then towards the back end of the season, you've got to change how you play because most teams have sussed you out. We got sussed out in 45 minutes. And that is scary as hell. And that is one of the weakest teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, I want to go to Zach now. It looks like we haven't sorted out ourselves at the back. We were conceded a lot of goals last season, and it doesn't seem like anything's changed, Zach. What's your thought on that, Zach?
My hopes were that Romero coming off the Copa America win, the World Cup win, like he should be the number one center back on earth, bossing everyone around. He should be doing that, in my opinion. And it wasn't. It looked like he didn't really have a lot to do either. You see Van de Ven running all over the place, fast as hell, honestly. But yeah, Romero, I need more from him. Like, it wasn't a horrible performance by all means, but I need him to elevate himself to those levels that are expected of him now that he's a multiple international champion. Let's just say that I love Romero. I have the highest hopes for the lad, but I need to see it. And he's the one player, like other than our captain, Sonny, who should be right away putting in a world-class performance. First game of the season.
Yeah. It seems like Amj has not been able to sort out our defensive issues. And I just want to put it to you, is he actually capable of doing it? I don't think he's got the capability to sort out the defensive issues. What do you think?
I'm glad that you raised this because I think that when you look, and Zach's made a very good point, World Cup winners, Asian Cup best player ever to come out of Asia, Bentancur, probably one of the most talented players that we had, technical players that we've got. I don't believe this manager can do it. I think, imagine if Pochettino had this team. Look what he did with a horrific Chelsea team and still managed to get them up to 6th, right? And then they sacked him. Imagine what we could do with a younger, stronger, much more dynamic manager, because what this team has got and what Ange Ball doesn't have is any dynamism. Did you notice how there was no hunger in the team, that there was no hurry? We were 1-0 down. In the last 20 minutes, we were just passing it around, trying to walk it into the pot. Where was the passion? In the Premier League, you see people going crazy every game. It's played like it's a final, not at Spurs. And that is why Ange Ball is not going to work. I think he'll be gone by Christmas.
Well,
Zach, what's your thoughts on that?
There's no reason we should have conceded a goal, but there's also no reason we shouldn't have scored 4 in the first half. They figured it out. We didn't have any changes. Like, he didn't change up the style or anything. We also have to make changes and adapt. Even if we're dominating a first half, like 1-0 is never good enough. The fact that you're going to be that comfortable going into the second half is crazy to me. Maybe you don't need to make substitutions, but you should be putting a different idea into your player, something new to throw at Leicester to keep them shell-shocked, as Cam said.
He doesn't seem able to change his tactics. Just before we finish off, I want you to take you to the next fixture. So the next one is Everton at home on Saturday. And then we've got Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, and Brentford at home. So what do you think on the next 4 matches that we got coming up? Cam?
Us 3 in the team could beat Everton right now. So that's pretty clear what's going to happen there. I don't hold out any hope for Everton. I think
Newcastle away,
bottom of the game, absolutely slaughtered. Arsenal at home, hammered, absolutely slaughtered. I think Arsenal will win it this year. Brentford, the way they played yesterday, I mean, there was passion there, and they played really well.
What's your thoughts, Zach, for the 4 games? So Everton at home, Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, and then Brentford at home.
We should easily beat Everton. I'm not sure what happened to them. It looked so promising for Everton. Newcastle away, I'm thinking they looked pretty good, a man down, but their opponents just weren't nearly good enough. I think we can at least expect another draw away at Newcastle. Arsenal at home, always excited for those derbies, but very worried. We need to get a point as well. Obviously, we want to be winning games, but if we're not able to score the goals, that's not going to happen. 3 points at Brentford, 3 points with Everton, and hopefully just 1 for the rest. That's not optimistic of me, but I'm trying to be realistic as well as optimistic.
So let's finish it off now. Cam, your final thoughts?
Underwhelming performance from Tottenham, exactly as we expected. I mean, one thing that's happened this weekend in the Premier League is there are very few surprises. Man City did what they were going to do. Liverpool did what they were going to do. Arsenal did what they were going to do. Newcastle did what they were going to do. Villa did what they were going to do. And Spurs did exactly what they were going to do. Unfortunately, it wasn't the performance of a top 6 team. It was a performance of another mediocre, hopeless team.
Okay. And Zach, final thoughts before we close it?
Not to start, we wanted everybody, have patience, be optimistic, support the team no matter what. I feel like we have some tough games ahead, but we got to be optimistic, support the lads, and I think we can expect more. We can. Things are going to get better for us. So come on, you Spurs, as I'm saying, like we got to be there for the boys.
Yep, I think that we've got some difficult games coming up that will really show the character of the team, whether they're up for the fight this season or not. If they do well and they win, then we can do that. If not, it's going to be a long, hard season. But finally, what would we say at the end of the podcast? Come on, you Spurs, and we'll see you on the next podcast after the next match. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.